Ohio. Luodong, the panorama. I think this is looking west-ish towards the mountains. So the waterfront is on the other side. The post office downstairs. Yeah, so this is the central part of Luodong. It's not as small as I thought. Yeah, unless I'm also looking at Ilan because they kind of merge into each other. So then the actual mountains is way over there. Area looks very different in the morning. There's a McDonald's, post office, 7-Eleven, Family Mart. Yeah, I need to have my breakfast, and I'm probably having my breakfast at a breakfast shop. Should be one. Like in a pinch, I can do the convenience store, but usually there are breakfast stores. Apparently in Luodong, all these lines are merely a suggestion. So this is interesting. I should come here sometime. The guy has a mishmash of new and old and vintage and fakes and counterfeits. All kinds of weird watches. Yeah. Mostly very low grade. But you know what? Occasionally in places like this you'll find some interesting watches randomly. I don't think I'll find a breakfast here. It's too crowded. Yeah. And it's very chaotic. Like pedestrian and scooter traffic are basically intermingled. Okay, there's a roofed portion as well. So I should go back on one of the main streets and find a breakfast shop there. That failing, get my breakfast from a convenience store. Okay. This could actually be made in Taiwan, possibly even local. Could be. Oh, okay. Jindong Shopping Mall. Golden East. Okay, my idea of a quaint small town has totally dissipated by now. Luodong is essentially a small city, stuffed to the brim with people, all kinds, except foreigners. I'm the only foreigner around. The crowds are almost exclusively local, meaning Taiwanese locals and from out of towners. This is also the first town in Taiwan where I can't find readily a breakfast shop, because in all the other places they're all over the place. Breakfast shops. Okay, according to the map, there should be a smattering of breakfast shops somewhere here, somewhere nearby. This one? Yeah, it's outside. Maybe they have something. No, it's just a little restaurant. YOLO. Hey, there's this YOLO cafe. Oh, what's the coffee menu? I can come here to do some work later. I like these little cafes. Okay. Let's continue. Oh, wait, that's interesting. So I found this atrium, abandoned atrium. Very interesting. In search of a breakfast shop. Ridiculous as it may sound. Fire station. Oh, there must be something. This little lineup probably indicates a breakfast shop. Let's check it out. It does. Okay. It's a legit breakfast shop, but breakfast is not the type that I prefer. It's more of a soupy kind of congee noodle soupy breakfast, which is not my preference. If I have a choice, I prefer an omelette or egg pancake and milk tea. So that's been my Taiwan breakfast for the longest time. I can't believe I can't find it here. It's such a basic thing. See if this one is the proper one. Oh no, this is buffet to go. Oh, this looks like a proper place. Is it? No, this is another soupy place. Yes, because it's public holiday. Maybe some of them are closed. Yeah, this one's closed. Okay. How about that one? Looks like the legit place. Proper pancake. Hey, they have the whole thing. It's good. I got this little breakfast. Vegetable egg pancake, milk tea, and a little toast, jam toast, at this little breakfast shop. The whole thing was 115 Taiwan dollars. It's kind of a same deal as in Taipei, almost. Just an aimless walk around the downtown Luodong. Then I need to prepare for a little meeting. Still have to do some work despite the public holiday. When I go on little trips like this, generally I don't have any set agenda. The whole point is get away from the set agendas. So I think if you overly plan your travels, your holidays even, it becomes more like a business trip with a busy itinerary. So instead of reducing your stress level, you're actually adding to your stress. So I think if you want to practice moderation, you should kind of let things go as they go. Follow the flow, follow the way. And if I had a really kind of overly defined agenda, I wouldn't have a chance to look into the little nooks, little streets, side streets, and I wouldn't get a better feel of the town, the area. Yeah, so that would kind of defeat the purpose. This does of course mean that not always, actually generally, I don't check all the boxes that tourists do. but I don't have that objective anyway. So I'll just walk around a little bit, heading generally towards northeastern direction. There's some park over there, and I'll turn around and come back to the hotel, have my meeting, and there'll be some other undefined agenda for the afternoon. I might go have a look at the waterfront, but it's quite far. It might actually require a Uber ride, because I'm not licensed to ride here. Although I could, in theory, I could ride. I think in Luodong I could ride. People would ride very carefully here, because traffic is intermingled with pedestrians. So much like in Thailand, in Chiang Mai, in Chiang Rai, I feel like I could actually ride a little scooter. But not in Taipei. Taipei riding is a suicide. It's quite nice. Temperature wise, it's about 25 degrees, but with a little wind coming from the waterfront, I'm guessing. So it's actually nicer than in Taipei. Yeah. Even though this brand new asphalt would have been super hot in Taipei, but here it just feels fine. Yeah, little street. Ting in stock. One of the few characters I can read. I recall now, I had a classmate once, her name was, or her nickname was Ting Ting, which was a different character, which I don't know, but it sounded like stop stop, so people would laugh at her. She was really cute. There's another set of characters, going to this bus, so this will indicate either bus stops or bus lanes. I don't think here in Luodong they have dedicated bus lanes, but in Taipei there's often bus lanes and nobody is allowed to go in them. I don't think anybody, not even taxi. So yeah, it feels very much like in small town Thailand, in Chiang Rai, Lampang, Payao. Yeah, same chillax vibe. What is this thing? Some kind of a stella? Oh, okay. There's a clock. Okay, there's a park here. This thing indicates there's a kind of a cultural park. So let's turn around and have a look. So these are some older structures, restored maybe, possibly going back to the Japanese era. The Luodong area back in the colonial and the early Kuomintang era used to be center not so much for logging. Logging was further out in the hills, but it was more like a forestry industry center, a bit like some towns in Canada. Comparison would be Port Hardy on Vancouver. Lots of other towns in the interior, BC, centered around a bunch of sawmills and wood trading firms. I'm guessing back in the day, most of the wood would go to Japan. Yeah, it's a beautiful tree there. I know very little about Canadian softwood, but I know nothing about the Asian, East Asian, Southeast Asian hardwood trees. But I imagine it used to be pretty lucrative trade. The thing with the tropical trees is that because they have a lot of chemicals in them to repel insects and all. For instance, if they get sick, they might get attacked by insects and kill it. So when you cut them down and they become forest products, they tend to be very rot resistant because of all these aromatic oils in them, which makes them quite sturdy, rot resistant, very durable for all kinds of applications, which is quite important if you live in a tropical humid climate. Normal wood would just rot away in a couple of summers, and especially if you're on the coast or if you're building a boat or living on a boat or something, you're gonna end up needing some pretty expensive exotic wood. Yeah. Oh, okay. This is the park entry. Okay. Okay. So, okay. This is the entrance to the Luodong Forestry Culture Garden. Okay. Have a little shop. Let's have a look. Wonderful land. Is that a shop? Yeah, it's a shop. I will look at it later. The park is small. There's woodwork workshop. Carbon cycle. Oh, okay. That's really good. Yeah. Looks like the idea of this thing is educating kids and general public about the carbon exchange cycle. Is very good. I'm actually amazed that somebody's doing that. Okay, there's some educational pavilions. Yeah, I would guess back in the day they would cut them down up in the hills, in the mountains, and they would tie them into rafts and send them down the river. They have little indicator tags. Yeah. Citation. See how nature slowly but eventually it will reclaim the wood. Yeah, and it's becoming a bit like Studio Ghibli Park, or like a forest from Castle in the Sky in a way. Yeah. This must be one of the trucks that is used for this thing. Okay, just a normal yellow truck. Must be a Fuso of some kind. Mitsubishi Fuso. Oh yeah, exactly. Okay, let's take a picture. Which means, by the way, I was also a bit wrong about the river. They were using railway until '79. Yeah, and as often happens, you have to read from have to read the characters backwards. So this is Luodong, Linchu, like forest area, forest. And these three characters here, something something, mean basically administration. I know this character here, Lee is managing, I think so. Luodong Forestry Administration. Yeah, so this was a government entity, I guess. There's a little lake. Not sure if it's artificial or natural, but it does seem to help with lowering the temperature around here, and it also creates an interesting kind of wetland. You can submerge the logs and create a little natural habitat, semi-natural habitat. All fits into the overall concept of the park. Yeah, it's got its own native forest. It's got a bunch of cultivated things and kind of deadwood brought in from the various forest operations. It's good that towns like this, they kind of remember what they used to do back in the day and use that legacy for education. Yeah, this park should be also very good for bird watching. So this must be one of the ways to stop or pause environmental degradation. Oh, the railway passes right here. Yeah, this is still the railway. You can create these little ponds, lakes, make sure water circulates somehow. It's connected to a larger waterway, and yeah, let some creatures occupy it. Like this one here. Huh? Hey, these are baby ones. There's more of these ducks. There's tons of ducks on this lake. Yeah, it's difficult to imagine in China they would let them sit like this. Immediately become picking ducks. Train just passed, the birds are unfazed. And I see there's a major heron, quite sizable one. Yeah. She's like the king of the pond, king of the hill. Maybe a crane. The ladies were saying it might be a crane. White crane is kind of a feature in Chinese culture. There's even a wushu style, kung fu style of the white crane. Yeah. So for 13 years, the Forestry Bureau had its own cultural troupe. Oh wow, they had a bunch of people. They had like 30 performers, and these were all amateurs. They were performing kind of in between their normal jobs, which is kind of cool. Yeah, at Taipingshan. Yeah, Luodong and Taipingshan. So the thing existed for 13 years, until it was replaced by TV. TV killed the performance. Yeah. So apparently they were famous enough that they traveled overseas. Interesting. I guess to some other lumberjack conferences. Imagine Lumberjack International. Well, I guess Canada had a really strong showing there as well, with Monty Python. Canadian lumberjacks in high heels. Very sassy performance. Oh, this is looking east. The waterfront is over there. Looking east over there. That's the East Coast mountains, and that's where most of the wood came from. The roads there are quite sketchy. I can't imagine having to drive a 15-ton truck down a narrow mountain road. Hey, that's pretty hairy. Because the GoPro battery died, I have to take this little footage with the phone camera. So these are the passenger cars of the Forest Railway. They used to have it as well, because I'm guessing the Forest Railway for the longest time was the main method of transportation for the local people here in the area, until around 70s when the bus line started. So this must be a diesel. Oh no, still a steam locomotive. Oh, the battery is almost kaput, and I didn't bring the spare one. So I'm gonna wrap today's little walk, this little record. I might do some other little walks today, but we'll see if there's a battery. Yep. Bye-bye.